What's up, everyone? Welcome to this episode of Kevin Eats World. Riding solo today, so I don't have Sammy Pie Rose to film for me. But today's episode, we're going to do an outdoor episode where I'm going to grill some steak. I've been buying these thick cut strips from Costco, and the technique that I've been using lately really allows for, a perfect medium rare to medium all throughout the steak. And so it's going to be a multi-step process in order to get the steak just right. The first step in the process is going to be letting the steak sit out at room temperature for anywhere probably about like 45 minutes to an hour. The last 15 minutes of leaving it out, we're going to season it heavily. That'll pretty much do a nice dry brine. We'll draw the moisture out, and then the moisture will draw all the seasoning in. While we're doing that, we'll get the grill going so it's nice and hot. We'll have, different heat temperatures on each part of the grill surface. And then we'll grill it anywhere from 3.5 minutes to 4 minutes aside, and then we'll let it rest for about 10 minutes. So next time we see you, we'll be seasoning this thing. All right, so this steak has been resting for about 45 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and just start seasoning. Put a little olive oil just for the seasoning to adhere to. And then we're going to use a generous amount of salt. We'll do cracked black pepper. And lately I've been using this crushed red pepper, oregano, garlic seasoning from McCormick & Schmidt's that has been really tasty on steaks. And we'll just go ahead and do a generous amount on there. We'll go ahead and flip and repeat the process. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get the grill going. Turn the propane on. We'll ignite the burners. So we have the flame going. And so essentially, we have 3 different burners. We're gonna turn this one all the way to low. We're gonna turn that one medium, and we're gonna keep that one high. We're going to let this grill get up to a little over 500 degrees internal temperature inside the grill. We'll let this go for about 10 minutes before we start grilling. All right, so any moisture that was drawn out of the steak you can see has been reabsorbed. And the grill is over 500 degrees, so we're ready to start grilling. So remember, we have our hot side, our medium side, and our not so hot side. We are going to start with the steak on the not so hot side first, and then we'll do this for 3 minutes, and then we'll move it to the hot side after 3 minutes. And we're going to leave this bad boy nice and closed, so that way the steak bakes at the same time as it's grilling. So it's been about 3 minutes, and now we're going to move the steak from the not so hot side to the very hot side. Just with this, you want to make sure you manage the flame. If it starts to flame up, you can use the medium hot side to continue grilling while the flame goes down, and then you can move it back over. You'll want to keep the cover shut while you're doing this, but just open every 30 seconds or so. We're just making sure that the flame's not getting out of control. And we're going to do this for 3 minutes as well. I know we said we're going to do about 3.5 to 4 minutes aside. I like to start at 3 minutes to see how fast the steak is cooking. And then that way, if we need to add more time, you can't take time back. All right, so it's been about 3 minutes on the very hot side. As you can see, I'm getting a nice, beautiful caramelization. We're going to move it to the not so hot side again. And really the reason that we're doing this is so that you want from wall to wall as much medium rare to rare as possible. If you're cooking it on that hot side the whole time, you'll get like well done, then medium well, and then just in the center of the steak you'll get that medium rare. We want it from wall to wall. All right, again, it's been 3 minutes on the cooler side, and then we're gonna move it to the extremely hot side. This one's dripping a little bit of fat, so I'm definitely going to be cautious of flare-ups, and so I might have to move it either up and down the hot side, or again move it to this middle side to prevent the flare-ups. You can already kind of see one's probably about to happen. All right, so it's been about 3 minutes on that side. As you can see, I've had to kind of move it up and down the grill just because this part's where it's flaring up. And so I really like the color on both sides. So I give it a little press. It's almost there, so I'm probably just going to let this get a hard sear on each side for about 30 seconds, and then we'll move to let it rest. All right, so we're gonna let the steak rest for about 10 minutes. The reason that you let a steak rest is what happens when you cook with heat. Essentially, because you're searing on the outside, you're pushing all the juices towards the center. And so right now, all those juices are in the center of the meat. So if I cut into this thing, it's gonna spill out, there's gonna be blood everywhere. What you wanna do when you rest is slowly, the juices will start coming from the center and start redistributing all throughout the rest of the meat. And so that way when you cut into it, like 10 minutes from now, you'll have a super tender bite. So especially a steak this thick, you have to let it rest. We're probably gonna let this thing rest about 10 minutes. And if you have a very hungry dog like this one, you might want to rest your steak on an elevated surface. Sorry, Scout. All right, so the steak has been resting for about 10 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and cut into it with this special edition knife my buddy got me. It says boop. Yeah, so let's dig in here. Let's cut it down the center. As you can see, absolutely perfect medium rare. And you can see it's medium rare from top to bottom. You don't have that like really thick, well done crust. It's just medium rare throughout. So let's go ahead and take a bite of this thing. Absolutely delicious. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time on Kevy Eats World. Hopefully with Savvy Pie Rosé helping me film, because this may or may not have been a good video.